This year, for the first time, the City of Plattsburgh commemorated Indigenous Peoples Day. It is one of several steps being taken to honor the Haudenosaunee people who lived here in the region.
Mayor Chris Rosenquist made the proclamation earlier this month, changing Columbus Day to Indigenous Peoples Day in the city of Plattsburgh. It is the first of several steps to recognize the Haudenosaunee people who lived here in the region.
My family has been here since before colonization, and yet for some reason people don't know that.
Emily Stacy is a Mohawk who lives in Plattsburgh. She and her children joined this dedication on Plattsburgh's first Indigenous Peoples Day for the unveiling of a plaque that lists some of the plants the Mohawks and other nations of the Haudenosaunee people used to heal.
We honor the original caretakers of this and surrounding lands and offer respect to the Haudenosaunee who are still here.
Stacy says she has faced discrimination most of her life.
I can't tell you how difficult it has been here in Plattsburgh to even get some type of acceptance. And this feels pretty close.
Whether it's small changes like these plaques that reference her culture and history, or larger ones like changing Columbus Day to Indigenous Peoples Day, Stacy says the changes matter.
That is the hope that the Haudenosaunee people have, is the next 7 generations, and hoping that the next generation is not going to have to suffer the way that the generation before did.
And that next generation is hoping the change will honor Indigenous culture and remind people of the history behind the holiday.
We need to keep some value of our heritage, otherwise it will be just in history books and no longer relevant.
Penny Clute is a member of a community group that has started putting up the plaques and artwork, including this sculpture on the waterfront, encouraging people to learn more about the Indigenous people who first settled this land.
This is really important. Having Indigenous Peoples Day declared is really important. Recognizing there are more parts of our history. We're not changing anything. We're not trying to detract from anything. We're adding to it. And the Indigenous people have been here for thousands of years. We need to remember that and realize that.
And for more on the artist creating this sculpture for Peace Point Park, here's our Jack LaDuke.
Long before Plattsburgh became the lakeside community that it is today, Native American Mohawks fished in the big lake here and hunted in the surrounding woods. Residents of Plattsburgh now want to erect a monument at Lakeside honoring the Mohawks.
It's going to be in a little park on Plattsburgh's harbor side called Peace Point Park that most people don't even know exists. It's a little peninsula, little spit of land between the boat launch and the marina. A number of us in the community wanted to do something that really authentically acknowledges the Indigenous people who are here now and have been here for thousands of years.
The link between the two groups is a Native American who can explain Mohawk ways to non-Mohawks.
I'm kind of the bridge and helping the Mohawk members of the group and the non-natives of the group kind of find a balance. And
balance between
the two worlds, between the two societies, because I understand both. So I'm able to explain things to our group back and forth about what goes on.
Mohawk artist Natasha Smoke Santiago of the Akwesasne Reservation was assigned to do the artwork for the turtle-shaped monument. The turtle plays an important part in the Mohawks' beliefs. Santiago decided to make 13 plates out of clay covering the turtle's back. She then hand-formed images on each tile relating to the Mohawks' beliefs. When this part was done, the plates were ready to undergo firing.
It's going to be really smoky here.
Okay.
First, the tiles were fully covered with wood chips. Then, firing the tiles begins.
I bisque fire first to give it a good, strong, even fire in an electric kiln. And then afterwards, I smoke the pottery with cedar to give it that old-fashioned look of the original Mohawk pottery.
The artist said that smoke gives the tiles marbling that looks beautiful when finished.
I feel connected to my ancestors when I do it. And also when I think about the clay, it's used to be this clay form, a wet clay form. And then once it's fired, it's this new life. So when I do the smoking portion, I like to wash the pottery when it's done. I imagine giving it this one last water before it's its new life form. So here I have one of the fired tiles. It's been smoked, washed, and then it also has a gold wash finish on here. And it's ready to be varnished for the final coating, protective coating, and it's really beautiful. It's always like opening a present. Whenever you pull something out of the fire, you never know what it's going to look like. You could try to have all the influence you want, what position you put it in, what materials you smoke it with, but no matter what, you don't know exactly what it's going to look like by the time it comes out, so it's a very exciting process.
For Mountain Lake Journal, I'm Jack LaDuke on the Akwesasne Mohawk Reservation.
Jack LaDuke's Adirondack Journal on Mountain Lake PBS is brought to you by Northline Utilities.